What's going on, everyone? This is Max again, and today is exactly a week since I got my braces put on, and as I may have mentioned before, I had my appointment today at 11:30 because one of the brackets fell off, and they had to re-glue it, which only took about 20 minutes altogether. Overall, they said I'm doing good. Just keep doing the same thing I've been doing for the past week, and the result will be phenomenal. What I was going to talk to you about today is a very important aspect of braces and dental care in general is the actual cost. Because if you're like myself, if you live in the United States, you know that healthcare here is not free by any means. And it can be expensive. But either way, I wanted to kind of go over this to tell you what I paid and what other ways of paying for this are available out there. Long story short, just kind of give you a story where I started, like how I ended up considering getting braces. I always was ashamed of my own teeth because I am, believe me or not, I'm missing 4 teeth. I'm missing 2 molars at the bottom here. I'm missing 1 molar at the top up here, and you don't even see this right now, but I am missing 1 tooth in the front. But this happened when I was like 12 or so 20 years ago, and since then the space disappeared because teeth kind of grew my teeth grew to the point where they got too close to where you can't even tell that there's space missing there. And luckily for me, it stayed somewhat straight to where you don't even notice that there's a teeth missing there. But long story short, if you are one of the people who is missing a tooth or two and like, hey, I'm ashamed of my smile, I'm never going to be able to smile again, look at this guy. I'm missing 4 teeth. Not 1, not 2, not 3, freaking 4 teeth. Still smile, still want to make sure my teeth are going to be good for years to come once I'm done with the procedure. And I just want to give you a heads up that, hey, even if something is wrong with your teeth right now, it is not the end of the world. You're going to be able to change it, and you're going to be able to change it to where you're going to get the perfect smile as long as you start acting right now. So don't put it on back burner. Little things, go to the dentist now, get a consultation with the orthodontist, just start doing something right now. So how I ended up going to get the braces, when I started going to my regular dentist, he is the one who suggested me getting braces, but normally he would do it in his own office. However, my case is somewhat complicated because they're thinking one of my front teeth may have gotten fused. What that means is that because of some sort of trauma or something to the front jaw, it may have actually grew into the bone of the jaw to where it's not going to really move right away. So instead of doing it himself, he wasn't confident that in his ability of doing it the right way. So he referred me to an orthodontist that he knows and he's heard a lot of good comments about. So I went to see that orthodontist. The initial consultation is absolutely free. When I walked in, they've taken pictures of myself, just literally with a camera, pictures of my mouth, multiple different angles. Then they have one of those machines that does like a X-ray scan of your entire skull, and they did it in multiple different angles as well. So by the time I was sitting talking to the doctor, after the assistant did all those pictures, they already could tell everything's going on with not just my mouth, but my entire skull pretty much, and how things have bones and other things are positioned there. And based on their computer software, they can predict what's going to happen and what they need to do on their behalf to be able to achieve the desired result. So long story short, once we had the consultation, they offered me 2 ways to pay for it. So the total bill, and again, that could be different in your case depending on where you go to, because I've heard amounts that are lower, higher. Also, it probably depends on the how complicated your actual case is. I would say my case is somewhat complicated because of certain things that are missing and certain things that need to be done. But the total bill, if I was to finance with them, because they give you an option to finance with the company with having a $500 down payment, so the total bill is $6,800. To put it this way. However, if you were to finance with them, the way you would do it, if you would put the day when your procedure starts, you would put a $500 down payment at the minimum. If you want to put more, you put more. And then if you did put just the minimum $500 down payment, you would have a bill of about $200 a month or something like this. If you were to pay outright, In other words, if you were to use your own money, savings, checking, whatever you want, they would give you a 5% discount. So that ended up being $6,400. Luckily for myself, well, two things. I don't like owing money to anybody, and it's just, I mean, kind of my nature. I started following, I don't know if you guys heard of this guy, Dave Ramsey. He's a pretty good financial advisor, I would say. He has his own show on the radio and YouTube, but he always tells you if you have a way to pay for something outright, just pay for it, because the feeling that you don't owe money to somebody is a great feeling. Long story short, I ended up cutting them a check for $6,400 the first day. So that is my bill so far, and that includes that $6,400 that I paid includes the entire treatment duration, and also includes those retainers that are going to be issued to me once the treatment is done. So the retainers is something you're going to be putting in your mouth every time you go to bed to make sure that the teeth that been in that same exact position for 30-some years after a 2-year treatment with braces don't want to go back to the same exact spot, because that's the nature of things, of basically returning back to the same exact spot where it came from if there's no way to retain it. So now with $6,400 what I paid them so far, I will still have to do a couple other things when the procedure is over. And basically what I'm going to have to do in my case, like I've mentioned to you, I do have a need for implants, and that so far I don't even know. I've heard a couple stories from friends of mine who have implants. I think it's going to average about $3,000 per implant, so you're looking at 1, 2, 3, and speaking of the fourth one, I don't really need one, because I was thinking what the orthodontist will tell me is that I would have to make space for the tooth and put it in, but they say no, your teeth are perfectly straight up here in terms of how they aligned, and the best, if you want to, there's a way of basically using one of this front teeth and making it look like it's the other one, but there's no need to put any implants in there, because your size of your jaw is perfectly fine. So so far $6,400 that I spent out of my pocket. Once the treatment with braces is over, I'm gonna have to spend probably, let's say, another $9,000 or so, but luckily I have enough time to save up for this. But that will basically include having implants, and at the end of the thing, when everything's done, implants done, the braces are done, which is again probably 3 years down the road, I want to get it whitened, which God knows how much that would cost, but at that point I should be completely finished with my procedure and basically have that Hollywood smile that I'm so desiring. Now, to answer questions in terms of the cost of it, I know some people think it's a lot of money and this and that. Here's how I look at this. In a course of life, because let's face it, I mean, I'm not getting those teeth just for a day or two or a year or 3. No, I'm getting them for the rest of my life. Like, I'll be 90-year-old if I live that long. I'll still have the same teeth. I'm not going to freaking even remember how much I paid at that point. So the way I look at this, even though the amount looks huge right now, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. The money I'm spending on my own health is going to be a couple things. I know a lot of people who actually, when they got their teeth taken care of, their confidence went up to the point where they were able to land a better job that paid them more money. That's a big plus. Another thing is that we don't think about it, but realistically, if your teeth are not right, you're not really chewing your food the way you're supposed to. Therefore, you're harming your digestive system. That can in fact be a much more serious problem in the future. So those are at least 2 little things that you need to take into consideration when somebody tells you the procedure is going to cost that much and you start contemplating whether you can afford it or not. Just figure out the way, save up or use the finance and whatever you need to do, but that's definitely worth it. So how I look at this, can I get my teeth straight at some point? Yes. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be cheap? Absolutely not. Is it worth it? Yes. And it all applies to, I'm sure, all of you who's listening, who's watching right now, people who want to have their teeth taken care of. Like I said, my best advice is start somewhere, even if it's little payments or something like this, because you got to remember, in my case it was $6,400, in your case it may be $4,000, because I looked at it for different amounts depending on where you go to. But start, and I promise you, you're going to be very, very happy with the result. And when you come out of all of this, you may not even remember what you paid for this, but what you will remember, all those happy moments of you smiling and just enjoying the way you look in the mirror. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. I do have to go to the bank right now for something else, but I'll keep you updated on how my treatment goes, and we'll be in it together. Bye.